Yes, children, in the previous part, we saw that how the writer accepts the luncheon date proposed by the lady, and he also calculates that how he would manage the expenses for the entire month. Now, let's find out that what happens at the luncheon date. I answered that I would meet my friend at Foyt's on Thursday at 12:30. So, in reply to proposal which was given by the lady, the writer agreed and told the lady that he would meet her at the Foyt's restaurant on Thursday and at 12:30. 12:30 means 12:30. She was in appearance imposing rather than attractive. Now, how did the lady look? How was the appearance of the lady? So she was more imposing. Imposing means very commanding, or we would say very authoritative, as compared to being attractive. She was not at all attractive. She was not very beautiful. And she gave me the impression of having more teeth, white and large, and even than were necessary for any practical purpose. So she gave me an impression, a kind of a sense that she had more teeth. What does this mean? This sentence means that she used to laugh too much, and which was not at all required, which was not necessary for any practical purpose. So unnecessary, she laughed too much. She was talkative. The lady was very talkative. But since she seemed to want to talk about me, I was prepared to be an attentive listener. So, but the writer was fine with it, though she was very talkative, because the writer felt that uh, she would talk about his work, about his novel, about his book which he had read, and maybe appreciate his work, and therefore he prepared himself that he would be an attentive listener. I was startled when the menu was brought. The writer says that he was surprised when the waiter brought the menu card. Why was he surprised? For the prices were a great deal higher than I had thought. When he went through the menu card, the writer felt that the prices were much higher than he had expected, than he had imagined. But she reassured me. But the lady comforted the writer. Reassured means comforted the writer. I never eat anything for luncheon, she said, and she comforted the writer by telling that she does not eat anything for luncheon. Now, the writer has used irony in this line. The direct meaning of the sentence is different from the actual meaning. The lady says that she never eats anything for luncheon. It means that she does not eat anything for luncheon. She avoids eating food for luncheon. But actually, it meant that the lady does not eat ordinary dishes. Anything here uh, means that the lady does not eat ordinary dishes. She eats very expensive and exclusive dishes. So let's go ahead and let's find out. Oh, don't say that. I answered generously. So, this is a very natural thing which one does. If your guest refuses to eat anything, as a matter of courtesy, you just tell your guest to have something, right? The writer also did the same thing. And the moment he, as a matter of courtesy, the writer told the lady that don't do this, eat something, she changed her statement. I never eat more than one thing. From anything, she changed to one thing. She said that she has only one thing, one dish for the luncheon. I think people eat for too much nowadays. And she told the writer that nowadays people overeat. A little fish, perhaps? I wonder if they have any salmon. So she says that I don't overeat, so I would like to have a little fish. But she she demands for a salmon, and salmon is not a little fish. It is a huge fish. Well, it was early in the year for salmon and it was not on the menu. So the writer was a bit relaxed because it was not the season when the salmon was available. And the name of the dish was not in the menu card. But I asked the waiter if there was any. But still, the writer, as a matter of courtesy, asked the waiter if they had salmon. Yes, a beautiful salmon had just come in. It was the first they had had, and the waiter told that the season's first salmon has come and they are ready to serve. I ordered it for my guest. The waiter asked her if she would have something while it was being cooked. Now, because it's a big fish, it requires time for cooking. And therefore, the waiter asked the lady if she would have something in between and would like to have something else till the salmon was being cooked. No, she answered, I never eat more than one thing. So again, she repeats her statement and what she believes in, that she has only one thing for the luncheon. But the next moment, she changes. Unless you had a little caviar. But if you have little caviar, I never mind caviar. But she says that I don't mind having caviar. Caviar are eggs of a large fish that are salted and eaten as food, and it's a very expensive dish. So she demands for caviar. I knew I could not afford caviar, but I could not very well tell her that. So the writer knew that the caviar was a very expensive dish and he won't be able to pay the price of the dish, but he was not able to express this to the lady. He couldn't tell her that he was unable to pay for the dish. For myself, I chose the cheapest dish on the menu, and that was a mutton chop. So, in order to save some money, the writer chose the cheapest dish which was there on the menu card, and that was a mutton chop. I think you are unwise to eat meat, she said. This lady had already placed order for two dishes, caviar and salmon. But she did not hesitate to tell the writer that he was not wise enough to select this dish, that was mutton chop. I don't believe in overloading my stomach. And she further told the writer that by eating mutton chop, he would overload his stomach. She ate the caviar and she ate the salmon. Both the dishes, caviar and salmon, were eaten by the lady. She talked gaily of art and literature and music. She was very happy. So very merrily, very casually, she was talking about art, literature, and music. But I wondered what the bill would come to. But the writer was unable to concentrate on anything because he was only worrying about that what would be the bill. When my mutton chop arrived, she took me quite seriously to task. To take to task means she started criticizing, she started telling the writer that the choice of mutton chop, this dish, was not right. Let's go to the next video and let's find out what happens next.